guys, and welcome to the third episode of Rewind the Podcast. Today's guest will be CEO of A-List Nutrition. A-List is a premium branded supplement company. They only sell premium brands. I want to bring this guy in because for the young listeners and the young entrepreneurs, I think they need to take a little bit of time out to listen to what this guy's got to say, because with the young company that he's got, especially in the supplement industry, it's very hard. And this guy, he's also a bodybuilding competitor. So I'm going to hand it over to James Dodds. James, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Lee. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah.
So, James, how's the A-List team been today?
Yeah, everyone's really great. We got a really good work culture cultivating at A-List HQ. So I'm really pleased with how things are going. Everyone works hard. Everyone feeds off each other's passion, and everyone has a lot of fun doing so. So it's really, really nice.
Good. So, how's family life? I believe you've got a youngster.
Yeah. So I just he's 4 months old now. So yeah, Finley. He's a lovely lad. He's amazing. Gives you a whole new purpose to your life.
Yeah.
And if I told myself I'd be having a baby at 25, I'd probably be a little bit shocked when I was 18. But it's amazing. It really is good.
Never be shocked when kids come along, mate. They just appear like that.
Yeah, crazy.
They do.
Crazy.
So what's today been like for you?
Today, in terms of business, a lot of admin, a lot of meetings, a lot of projections, a lot of analytics, a lot of some brand relations. I do most of my brand relations in the evening because that tends to be when the US is awake and able to speak to me. But during the day, it's, for me, projections, analytics, things like that, finances, making sure the back end of the business is ticking over nicely and working as it should.
Good. So before we get into the side of A-List and the products and stuff that you've brought into the country, so give us a bit of a run through on your sports background leading up to bodybuilding.
Sure. So my parents heavily encouraged sport when I was younger, and I was always known at school as like the big kid, the one that just tend to grow muscle easier than others, and yeah, from there I liked that, and I ran with it essentially. I took it into sport. The first sport I did well at was rugby. So I went into Dorset and Wilts, which is like our county team.
Yeah.
Barbarians, which is like a national team. And I also got into Bath Academy at one stage when I was 16 or so. But I really enjoyed that up to 16. Also played a lot of cricket alongside that. I was in county cricket as well. And then also golf. So golf was the sport that I actually, funnily enough, it's such a wide variety of sport, like ranging from, something that's basically full contact to none at all. But golf was what I ended up setting my sights on, because I had a few nasty injuries with rugby, which then led on to doing load of rehab work and stuff in the gym, which then led on to my bodybuilding. But golf, that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a pro golfer, or up to the age of 18, I'd say. And I got pretty good. I got down to like a 2 handicap, and then I was going to do like national circuits and stuff, and I was doing several high-end tournaments and things. But the thing with golf is you have to dedicate your whole life to it if you want to get to like the absolute top. So and was just very honest myself. I wasn't good enough to pursue that, and I think much like my bodybuilding, I have an eye for knowing when to nip something in the bud and when to pursue it, and know I've got a talent for it. I don't know whether that's the people I surround myself with. They're very honest. My dad's always very honest, being very honest with me. He's from Middlesbrough. He's very harsh talking. He knows how to, just cut through the BS, as it were, and just say, James, I think you need to concentrate elsewhere, or, this could be really good for you, type thing. So those were the three main sports, really. And then if you count bodybuilding in there as well, I personally don't count bodybuilding as a sport.
Yeah.
But I count the weight training as a sport type thing. But outside of that, I absolutely admire everything about bodybuilding. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. But in terms of it being a sport, I don't think it's quite there.
Yeah, so just run us through what you've competed on a number of occasions.
Yeah, so I've done the NBF shows, so they're like the Natural Federation shows.
Yeah.
I've done one UK BFF show, which was my first ever show, which I won. I think my first show I was 16 or 15. And it was while I was doing these other sports. So it's all sort of like put all in together at this stage. And I was putting my toe into bodybuilding as I was coming out of my rugby career and still doing golf. But as my golf tapered off and I realised I didn't really want to pursue it, I went further into the bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And with the bodybuilding, it just gave me a whole new sense of discipline that I just loved. I loved the monotonous daily routine of the training, the nutrition, the preparation, everything like that. That gives you such a. It really does teach you. My dad said this again when I was really young. He said, one day, James, you'll learn how to work hard. And I didn't get it when I was younger. But funny enough, it actually took me 16 or 17 years until I started bodybuilding to know what learning how to work hard truly is.
Yeah.
It's the techniques that you use on a daily basis, or the processes that you go through to enable yourself to work at a work capacity that you can consistently repeat on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And bodybuilding showed me what that was.
Yeah, so it sounds like it gave you the foundations to pursue something big in your career outside of bodybuilding itself, in your workplace.
Absolutely, and it was frowned upon really quite a lot, because I was fortunate enough. I went to a private school first in my life, sort of like up to year 8, and that's where I got like my sporting foundations. And then I went to a state school after that, up until sixth form, and it was kind of like frowned upon to do bodybuilding at that age, and it really wasn't that popular. It's like, it sounds weird me saying this because I was 16. That's like 8 years ago now. It's so crazy how far it's come in that time, and everything's out in the open. Like everyone's talking about everything in regards to bodybuilding, and it's popular, and you got all these influencers and everything like that. I'm sure you did back then, but nowhere near to the state it is now. Back then, it was kind of frowned upon. Like kids at school would be like, "Oh, are you standing on stage in a thong and getting all tanned up and stuff?" And now it's like the first thing, a teenager puts on their bio on Instagram. Like, I've completed an X, Y, and Z show. So it just shows how it's like changed over the years. But yeah, definitely bodybuilding. I owe a lot to bodybuilding. I do.
Yeah, I think social media's got a lot to answer for probably the last 6 to 7 years due to the likes of fitness and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Without a doubt.
I mean, I don't dislike it. Without social media, my business wouldn't be anywhere near as successful as it is today. Neither
Yeah,
would Joe's or Doug's or all the other guys that you've interviewed.
yeah,
It, it's an incredible tool, but it's also one that can be used very badly as well.
yeah, absolutely. So, so when you was competing, did you use pre-workout? What was your first?
NO Explode by
Oh,
BM. Yeah.
I had a bad
I,
experience with the no explode.
really, yeah.
That was
So
my first, yeah.
I was sucked in with the Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman was on the front cover of Flex, and he
Yeah,
had the center. And I actually had to ask my mate to buy these supplements for me because my mum didn't want me to take supplements. Rightly so. I think again, I think by the first time I took supplements, I was 14 or 15,
yeah,
which is too young, granted, but I did. I absolutely loved it.
yeah.
And my mum thought it was like a phase at the time, so she like deterred me from it. But yeah, NO Explode, BSN, not the best pre-workout at
No,
all, but great marketing behind it, which is
yeah,
why it sold at the time.
yeah. So, where did uh, where did your working life begin, leading up to DBD Nutrition?
Um, so that would have to be working for my dad. So my dad owned a company when I was younger, completely outside of my industry, but it was to do with building products. And he would take me to his warehouse. It was just him and my mum doing it, so it wasn't like some big enterprise. But it was a logistically sound and well-run business. And a lot of the work ethic, again, he installed a lot of work ethic into me, so he'd get me to do these very long grueling tasks, um, for not a lot of pay
Yeah,
or sometimes for free, um, to sort of show that you need to put a lot of graft in to be able to earn money. And that's kind of where it started. And like I said, that was, well, I must have been about 14 or 15 when I started that. And he also taught me as well at that age, which is something that I still hold on to this day, is that if you want to own your own business, you can't get paid
yeah,
a regular salary. You cannot expect money.
yeah,
Um, or you cannot expect to get money the same as everyone else does. You have to be willing to work for free,
yeah.
and you have to be willing to work exceptionally hard for free as well. So that was where my work started. Yeah.
So, whereabouts did DBD Nutrition come into your life after that?
So shortly after I came out of A A levels, really, sixth form. So I decided sixth form wasn't for me, and I went to college.
Yeah,
And as I started college, which was 16 or 17, I started DBD Nutrition because in those 3 years that I'd um, had from my first pre-workout, I said I had it at 14, I developed this unbelievable love for supplementation, like the different combinations of ingredients and how they can elicit different effects, the difference in terms of manufacturing, and just everything around supplements I absolutely loved, and the results that it could get you in and outside the gym, amazing. And I still carry that passion with me today. And then I just thought to myself, I wanted to get my foot in the door. I wanted to try and do it. and build up from there. Again, my dad kept me very level-headed, which I think a lot of people lack these days. Like they want to go in straight away with the business, and they want to do everything here now, everything, and they want to have £1 million company like next year.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. And it's unless you have something that's revolutionary, unfortunately it's not going to happen. You got to put in the sweat equity, and you've really got to put in the time as well. But yeah, to be honest, that was where it all started. My passion for supplements led into DBD, and then that was it. And at that stage, it was out the boot of my car. I don't know whether you've been on the profile, but I have pictures of like stock in the back of my car and stuff like that, and like pictures of me competing at a very young age and loads of different things. It was very like very shoddy marketing. It wasn't very good at the time, but it was a foot in the door. It was a stepping stone. I ended up doing all right with it in the end. So,
how long did you do that for?
I want to say through the entirety of college up until the start of university. So, it would have been 3 years. Is that? I'm going to refer to my colleagues here because, funnily enough, my colleagues, a few of them here, they actually were at college with me.
All right, okay.
College, 2 or 3 years? 2 years at college, yeah. So I did DBD nutrition for probably 2.5 years.
So you didn't do too bad then in the 2.5 years then, you're saying?
Yeah, I didn't do too bad. It was hard graft. I delivered supplement. My USP was I deliver to you in my car. So you could order, there was a cutoff point, but as long as you got me the order before X time in the day, I'd deliver it to you that very same day.
Yeah.
And I'd be very price competitive extremely price competitive because my overheads were so low. All I was having to do was pay for fuel at that time. And that was it really. And I'd beat prices. I'd undercut. I'd do everything I could to win the consumers over in a price fashion.
Yeah.
And also deliver on the service front where I'd come to you and I'd give you the products. And then also I'd go into nutrition and training plans as well. And further down the line, I actually did transformation packages. So I'd charge you a lump sum. You'd get 7 or 8 products involved there. And then also my guidance alongside that. Because my reputation from when I was young, being the slightly bigger kid at school, sort of followed me all the way up through my rugby and bodybuilding and stuff. And people heard who I was in the local area. And then that meant that because of that, I could use that experience and the knowledge that I gained from the bodybuilding to then give good advice to other people, so they could get good results as well. But that was really the story of DBD. It's not really a very exciting one, but if I didn't do that, A-List wouldn't be here today for sure.
Yeah, so talking of A-List, then let's get into the 4.5 years I think it's been around now. And you only supply, like we said before, premium products, mainly from the US, I think. What's the reason for that? Why did you go down that route and not be one of these, other companies that are just bringing in ones left, right, and centre and just saying, right, okay, have it all on the shelf and distribute that out?
So I think the main reason for that is I'm going to give props to Joe on this one. Massive Joe's from Australia. Because he was one of the first people to show me core. And that was roughly when DBD was coming to an end, and I just wondered to myself, I was like, why aren't these products in the UK?
Yeah.
Why is no one doing this? And so I bit the bullet and I did it. And yeah, I wanted premium product because I was very selfish. I wanted it for myself.
Yeah.
I realized very early on that I am my demographic and that my needs are similar to probably yourself and to most people in the UK, who are passionate about getting results. And I have a motto as well: you buy once, you cry once. So you buy one brand, you're happy with that brand, and you stick with that brand.
Yeah.
Because you know it's top quality, it's manufactured in the best facilities, it's got the clinical doses, it's got the reputable owners, so you know nothing shoddy is going to go around, and it's got everything, all the boxes ticked that you need to be able to consistently get results from them. I didn't want to bring in a product or a brand that, I am going to be honest, I was selling with DBD nutrition, because that's also what made me see is like I was just buying from regular wholesalers in the UK and just basically regurgitating the same product that everyone else is selling. And I just thought to myself, like, number one, as a business, that gives me no real USP. I've got nothing really that I'm adding tremendous value to my consumers with, outside of my services. And I wanted something more for both myself and the supplement industry in the UK.
So when you finally got, what was the feeling like when you first got A-List off the ground? You know, you had all these top brands in your warehouse, and you was distributing out to all these, whether the stores or online stores. What was that feeling like once you actually, had that, the consumers coming direct to you, or the stores coming direct to you for these big products?
Living a dream.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
Like, this is something that I literally dreamed of since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It still is something that I dream of now. And I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. And there's still so much more potential that my team and I are working on. But yeah, it's like living a dream.
So was there any inspiration from anybody that, that helped you lift A-List off the ground, and, was there, and whether it be family members or one of the guys from the States that you deal with, were they a big influence for you, or?
So, yeah, I have to again, Joe and Doug, funnily enough.
Episode 1 and 2, if you've not listened to them.
Yeah. So Joe actually has mentored me quite extensively throughout A-List. He even came to our warehouse a couple of years ago at Body Power and just spent a couple of days going through pretty much everything with us.
Yeah.
The guy just, I relate to him a lot. I like to think he relates to me a lot as well. Our stories are pretty similar.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just, there's some people that you just click with and you get on with, and we're very similar. But yeah, he's helped me pretty much since my first Body Power with A-List. So I met Joe, it's been May of, so I set A-List up in February, must have been 2016 now, or 2017, something like that. And then I met Joe May that year. So that was when we kept in contact. I then got a booth at Body Power next year. I invited him back because I was like on his booth originally.
Yeah.
And then from there, I invite him back every year. And now we speak pretty much on a weekly basis, and he checks in on me and sees how we're doing. Likewise with him. And yeah, I just keep him up to date with business, and he just points me in the right direction. He's such a resource,
yeah,
to have in your corner. the guy is so intelligent,
Yeah.
and kind as well. Like, he gives away all his content for free. Like, he's just a very, very good entrepreneur.
Yeah, he is definitely, and that's one of the reasons why, I got in touch with him to come on the podcast, because I think on the episode that I did with him was just around the getting to pro status around his bodybuilding career, because all the podcasts that I've listened to other people do with him was just about Massive Joe's. The story is Massive Joe's, and I am going to get him back on for that. But for me, I wanted to hear the other side of it.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear the different side. So I was at Body Power a couple of years ago. I met yourself, I met Doug, I met Joe, Sean, and so talking of Body Power, what was it like to have your own booth up there at one of the biggest, expos in the world, fitness expos, and to have all these CEOs from these companies at your booth, with the followers and fans turning up to see you all?
Yeah, amazing. It is amazing. But one thing that I have to express, for those younger guys that are watching this, that is, I'm going to be really vulgar here, but expos are a massive dick measuring competition between most of the brands, and that is it's so true. And what do I regret doing the Body Power stand? Absolutely not. It was amazing for us to do. But are the resources possibly better off placed elsewhere, with social media marketing, ad spend, everything like that involved, or even a private event?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the feeling at the time, absolutely amazing. Not just for myself, but for my team, to see the look on everyone's faces, and to see that this idea that I had and this concept grew in something like that was, there's nothing like it. It's unreal.
So with the brands that you brought in, how hard is it to bring in a new brand? What goes behind the scenes to bring in a new brand? Is there a lot that goes on, or do you just normally just get in touch with somebody and just say, right, I want your product?
I think that's what most people do, but we don't do. There's a lot of analytics involved. I do a lot of background research on the owners, the companies. We try the product first, before we reach out. We discuss pricing. We also discuss marketing. We look at their socials. We look at, how they rank in terms of Google. Like, there's a ton more that goes behind the scenes, rather than, I like that product, I'm going to get it on board. Of course, initially, that's what I did. But even then, Doug was my first brand, actually, with Core. But he will tell you that the process to get him on board was a good 4-5 months, I would say.
Wow.
Because again, all of our brands are from the US, and all of them are exclusive. And they're not small brands. Like, a lot of our brands are doing hundreds of millions of dollars in the States. So to entrust that sort of pressure, or that sort of expectation upon to us, they've got to do their due diligence on us as well. Yeah. So it takes time from both sides. But once it's done, I like to think that we do some good work with our brands, and they're long-term partnerships. Yeah. I'm not in business for short-term partnerships that are going to be here one day and gone the next, because it's really not viable for long-term business. I want to build something, and I want to be a partner to a brand rather than just a stockist.
Yeah. So has there been a brand that you wanted to get in but couldn't get through the door for whatever reason, or?
Yeah, that happens all the time. Right. It could be for example, that they have a load of different products that have banned ingredients in them. And the UK is a funny industry in terms of legislation.
Yeah.
It's very hit and miss. We get picked up on it all the time, and if we were to get in something banned, it would get stopped straight away. But smaller stores in the UK, they could get something in, and nothing will happen. It'll have a banned ingredient in it.
Yeah.
So that's why you may see banned products like scattered around the UK industry, because what small stores got it, and then another small store's got it, and then another small store's got it, and it's gone from there. But as soon as they get traction with it, tends to be nipped in the bud. But yeah, that's one of the reasons. Another of the reasons, the management there has just not been good, or they've been bad partners to work with, and we've spotted it early on, and we've sort of stopped that. Or they've changed their business model, something like that. Or they've got great products, but they do a ton of things that don't fit in line with our business model over here. So there's loads of different variables that go into it. But yeah, that's 100% happened, and it will happen.
Yeah, of course. So is there an athlete that, on the same question, is there an athlete that you've wanted to bring in but couldn't?
Athlete in terms of over the body power, or onto the A-list team, or what?
Onto the A-list team.
Onto the A-list team. So sponsored athletes, again, it's a very, everyone does sponsor athletes, but I don't think they do them very well. There's a lot. The only guys that I think really do very well with them are the likes of Joe and Doug, and the sort of more experienced companies that really utilize them very well. But I don't think there's one. Well, there's maybe a couple in the UK that use sponsored athletes really, really well. So we have dipped our toe into the sponsored athlete side of things, but I'm going to be honest, I got it wrong. I wasn't prepared enough for it. And I needed more experience with sponsored athletes to be able to turn around and, actually make them a viable form of marketing for the business, or like a viable representation for the business. But we think we're at the stage now where we could handle a really high level sponsored athlete. So we are looking at Olympic level athletes, boxers, that sort of level of sponsored athletes to work with us moving forward.
Good. Sounds interesting, that.
Yeah, because a lot of people know this, but a lot of people possibly don't. Our first sponsored athlete was James Hollingshead.
Yeah.
Who's just won his first pro show in Spain. Literally, I think it was this week. And James remains a really good friend to me this day. And I like to think myself with him as well. I would say he was our most successful athlete outside of our current. And he's someone that does exceptionally well, and it's hard to replicate. He has a passion for supplements, but also knows how to show his passion as well via social media. So that's a combination that is very hard to get hold of.
Are you looking for any more athletes? I'm available.
Oh yeah, no, we are looking. That's for sure. So
good. So just going back to from the beginning of the podcast, when you were talking about you first taking your supplements. So going back 7-8 years ago, you had the bigger brands. They still are big brands. I'm not disrespecting them, but you've got your ON and your BSN, your Cellucor, CMP, Applied Nutrition, stuff like that. Moving on to now, 2019, 2020, you've got your Core and your Miracle Labs, First Form, BPN, Ambrosia, all these other top American brands that are just absolutely blowing these other ones out the water that have been around for a longer period of time. Why do you think that is?
Innovation.
Mm.
They're innovating and the other ones aren't.
Yeah, so that was my thought, maybe because they're not doing anything with the brands, they're not moving it about, they're sticking with the same ones, what they've had for, day in and day out since the beginning. Pre-workout, your whey protein, they're not moving it to greens, reds, any focus supplements or anything like that, nootropics. I think, yeah, you're right. I think they need to be doing that.
Yeah, and it's mind-boggling as well because they have more resources than pretty much all of the companies. Like the big guys, they have tons of resources that they can throw at it.
Yeah.
But still hasn't clicked with them that their consumers are just a lot smarter than they used to be.
Yeah.
Like information is so widely available now online. By typing in beta alanine, you need 3.2 grams of beta alanine for it to be effective.
Yeah.
As a minimum. So why are these companies putting 1.6 or 1? I don't know. Because to me, my consumer is just going to go online straight away, see that, and think he's just trying to sell me stuff. He's just trying to make money off of me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my thought exactly the same. Okay, so I asked you before to bring some products to the table. So let's talk some products. What have we got?
So I have BPN Strong Reds. I also have OptiGreens 50 in first form. And then a new addition, I have, this is actually an empty tub. I finished this today, but this is Core Nutritional Zone. This is sold out at the moment.
So I've got my Zone here.
Oh, very cool.
Absolutely nice. Amazing product. I said that to Doug on the last podcast. It's the best nootropic I've had, taste-wise, focus-wise. I said to him, even having it the last 2 hours of work, I'm still, zoned in when I'm going to the gym straight after work. It's still there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I've tried a lot of nootropics myself, and I'm sure you have as well. It's true.
Yeah,
it is true. He's found a very, very good combination of ingredients. He's made it taste very good for the amount of raw ingredients are in there. And yeah, the euphoric feeling and the sense of well-being. So it is really cheesy, but it does put you in the zone.
Yeah, it does. It does. So, absolutely. I think the only thing that I think that I would like to see more would be more in within it. It's only got 20 serves. So I think maybe bump it up to the 30 if you can. I know it's going to be more expensive, but I think you're going to get more people buying it if you get it a bit more. So what other products have you brought alongside you there? Did you say OptiGreens?
So I brought in OptiGreens and OptiReds. I only really bought products that I bought the products that have really made a massive impact on my life as well as my training. Yeah. Because I take a lot of products. I do on a daily basis. We have the biggest communal shelf in the world of just like unopened, damaged or like open tubs that we've done for taste tests or reviews or stuff. So I have an abundance open to me. So these guys have really made a huge difference as well as on my training, but on my life as well. So for the OptiGreens, for instance, digestion, sense of well-being, you can really tell how good it is upon the first use. Yeah. And that's something that I would never thought I'd say with a greens product. But it's very, very true. And it shows in sales as well. Most people would think a pre-workout's our top seller or a protein, but a greens product alongside BPN Strong Greens and Core's Greens, they're our top sellers. Yeah. Because they genuinely improve people's lives. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got some greens over here under another brand, but the taste is just bad. The taste's bad. But
Is it?
yeah, I mean, I can. I mean, this is unflavoured stuff, but you know they're flavoured.
Yeah, no, I'll have to send you some to try because
Yeah, please do, mate.
it is very, very. It has changed. When I say it has changed my life, it genuinely has. I'm someone I struggled a lot with bad digestive issues.
All right, okay.
And for a period of time, I didn't know what was wrong and various things like that. But I just wasn't getting enough greens in. And I also found out I was lactose intolerant recently.
Right.
Opti greens really, really helped me on like a massive scale. And also just making me feel very good on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Is definitely a supplement that really, really helps. And then the reds as well. Like especially right now, people are worried about getting sick.
Yeah.
It's so good. I've noticeably seen that my immune system is just far better. I've got sick a lot less when a lot of people seem to be getting sick, and that goes for everyone at my workplace as well. They seem to not get sick because everyone pretty much takes the same thing here in terms of health supplements. And I think reds and greens have a massive um, effect on that.
Yeah, I definitely have to give them a try. So just moving on to a couple of more questions. Since starting A-List, February 2015, I think it was that I read, what's been the hardest lesson that you've learned?
Hardest lesson that I've learned. Oh, there's so many. The hardest. I would say the importance of humility, knowing that you can always learn more, and that you don't know it all.
Yeah.
And that when you think you are ready to do something, double and triple check.
Yeah.
Make sure you do your research and your due diligence, and really analyze everything, because in business there are no do-overs.
Yeah.
If you mess up, you mess up, and you'll lose your business.
Yeah.
And for a business like this, for me, it's my dream. I'm emotionally attached to this business. It can be a blessing, but it can also be a curse. I'm terrified of failing.
Yeah.
Terrified beyond belief. And that's again a big lesson that I had to get over, is I am going to fail. I have failed and I'll continue to fail, but it's okay as long as I don't make that same failure again. Because again, I'm going to use a quote here. I love my quotes. I don't know whether you realize that throughout this podcast, but this one's from Warren Buffett. He said that a failure, a mistake made once is fine. That is a genuine mistake. But a mistake made twice is a choice.
Yeah.
You have chosen to make that mistake again because it's happened to you before, but you're just doing it anyway.
Yeah.
It's very, very true. So, I'd say those two: being willing to fail, and also humility as well.
Brilliant. So with the 3 products that you've got there, what else would make up your top 5 that you'd use on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, Ambrosia Ritual PM. Really good long-term sleep aid, which is amazing for anyone that wants to, that they work late, they get up early, they feel groggy in the mornings, they don't feel good. Joe says something really cool in his content. He says, learn how to sleep faster.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've heard him say that, but Ritual PM helps me sleep faster, enables me to get the most out of my sleep so that when I wake up, at 6 o'clock or whenever, I'm ready to go and get into work and get what I need to get done.
Good. So a couple more questions before I want to run through a quick fire round, if you're up for it, just a bit of fun. So but there's a couple of guys that I associate with at the gym when we train, and they're big A-list fans. So one of them was asking, is there going to be an A-list store?
So yeah, we have been thinking about that for a long time, but I'm gonna be honest, we're a long way off.
Yeah.
I think it will be. I want to do a store with no pressure on the store, if you will. So
Yeah.
I don't want it to be financially like a must for it to succeed, because in this day and age, it's not really going to be massively successful. But yeah, we would have it very similar to like a Massive Joe's style.
Yeah.
Like he does it so well over there. Doug does it extremely well as well. And various other art partners. The First Form have their own stores as well, and they have fantastic stores. A lot of people don't know that, but that's another one of Andy's like side businesses. But yeah, we will do one, I think, but possibly it's possibly a long way off yet.
Yeah.
Something that might not be too far away in sort of like a 5-year plan would be an A-list gym.
Ace, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be good. So would you have to move HQ for that?
Yes. So HQ would then be attached to the gym as well.
Yeah.
And it would be, again, very similar to what Doug has done in the States.
Yeah.
But we would also have a shop front end, probably to our warehouse as well.
Yeah, because I think Doug was saying that they're moving from, is it Virginia to North Carolina? He's looking at moving.
Massive. I don't envy him, because the logistics of that is just crazy. It's moving your business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So another guy said, will there be any A-list supplements of their own coming, and any apparel?
Yeah, so supplements, again, I don't think I have the knowledge yet to create something that I think is at the level of our brands. And I'm not naive enough to think that. If we're going to do a brand, it's going to be ridiculous and it's going to stay around for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just come on the scene and then disappear. Because I like to think we do things like right over here, and we're going to spend a long time making sure it's right for consumers and us. So
yeah.
In terms of supplement line, not yet, maybe later down the line, but apparel for sure. So apparel, we're actually working on something cool with First Form for Black Friday. That is a sneak
Okay. Okay, I'll keep my eye out for that one.
Yeah.
So somebody else said, what did he say? One of the guys said, well, it was just about the gym. He said, would you open your own gym? That was another one. So obviously, if you're going to move HQ eventually, then that's going to go alongside that. So is there any future brands coming on board that you can tell us about, that you're looking at to work with?
Yeah, so there's one that hasn't come out yet, but we have lined up. He owns another one of our brands, but he's creating this one that does look extremely good, very, very promising.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, that will be it for a little while. But again, this brand is pretty huge, massive name attached to it, because it's not released yet or anything like that. I can't pretty say it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, we've got one, and that hopefully will be with us before the end of the year.
Good, cool. I'll keep my eye out for that one. So just want to move on to a quick fire round. There's 6 questions.
Yeah.
So, the last song played on your phone.
What, you want me to check?
Yeah, you can check, mate.
I'm going to check. Okay, I'm going to check this right now. You're probably not going to like that answer. Go Crazy, Chris Brown and Young Thug.
That's a cool tune. That is a cool tune. I like a bit of Chris Brown. The last meal that you eaten?
Half a chicken, rice, and avocado salad.
Bro food.
Yeah.
Last book that you read?
I'm going to be totally honest. I think it was probably this one right here.
All right.
500 Social Media Marketing Tips by Andrew McCarthy.
All right. Is there anything that you're binge watching at the minute?
Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah, I've just started that. Fan. It's okay. It's all right. It's not bad. It's not too bad. My wife prefers it more than me. It's not. Well, we'll see how it goes. I've not got. How far into it are you?
I think we're 4 episodes in. I
think we're only 2 in, but yeah, my wife's a bit hooked, and I'm like, right, okay, we'll see if it gets going a bit more.
It does get going. It is good.
Right, I'll have to just continue with it and see what happens. So, if you're feeling demotivated and tired, what's your go-to song to get your ass up and get out to the gym?
Go-to song? I don't really have a song. This is again gonna sound really blasé and just cringy. But again, I look at quotes, so I have them everywhere really. This one that I always keep in mind is actually on my name tag on my desk. So it's on the flip side, so everyone sees this.
Yeah.
The other side it says this. So this is what I see, and it says winners don't quit and quitters don't win. So
very true. Very true.
That is the one that I think of when I'm going to quit, and also this one as well. So I have this again, like on my placemat for my shakers or whatever, but it says shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
That's a good one.
A little bit cringy, but those sort of things, they keep me going.
Well, that's it, mate. Look, whatever does it for you, whether it's a motivational quote or whether it's a good tune that just gets you in the driving seat ready for the gym, that's all good. So the last question that I've got is, it's your last supper and you'll have 5 guests, dead or alive. Who would they be?
Sorry, mate. I think we cut out a little bit.
That's all right. So I'll just repeat the question, mate. The last question is, it's your last supper and you're allowed 5 guests, dead or alive. Who would they be? It can be anybody in the world.
I think Arnie's definitely got to be there. Warren Buffett has definitely got to be there. Richard Branson. 2 more. I'm going to struggle here. Probably purely for experience, like for his experiences, Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah.
And then finally, it would probably be an Olympic athlete as such, like Usain Bolt.
Right, good. Sounds like a good bunch of guests to be around the dinner table with various questions going on.
Yeah, like a variety.
Yeah.
if you asked me that question when I was 18, it would have been like Ronnie Coleman, Lee Priest, like all these bodybuilders. But
Yeah.
Arnie can tell me exactly what they do.
So, are the lads still in the office with you?
Yeah, they still are.
All right. So I'll ask one more that I asked Joe and he didn't have a clue. So, bacon sandwich, tomato sauce or brown sauce?
Tomato. Everyone said tomato.
Oh man, brown sauce all the way.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Brown sauce.
I guess we do. Yeah, we're southern though, aren't we? We're a bit soft.
Right. Well, James, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to come and join us on the podcast.
No, I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And do you want to throw any of your handles out there for anybody to get a hold of you, and especially with A-List for the trading, if any of the stores want to get in contact?
Yeah. So Instagram page is simply A-List Nutrition. Website is www.alistnutrition.com. If anyone's a shop or a retailer, they can fill out a form on our wholesale section up there. We'll get in contact with you. If you want to follow me, my name is Fat Jimmy on Instagram. That is not the name I gave myself. It was the name that Doug and all my suppliers gave me, and that is spelled with a PHAT, funny enough. So, and then, yeah, I think that's it.
No problem. Brilliant. I'll put it on the details below anyway. But thanks again, James, for taking the time out.
Thanks, Lee. I appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. Thanks. Hi guys, I'd like to say thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it on your socials, tell friends, family, follow us on Instagram and Facebook to keep up to date with all the latest episodes. You can also find us on YouTube, hit the like button on all your socials, give us a 5-star rating on wherever you listen to your podcast. And until next time, we're out here.